I can tell you both, this is a very difficult case for me because he's young. So my job as a judge is not like the Minority Report with Tom Cruise. I can't see into the future. I don't know what's going to happen. I know, State, you're asking for 10 years prison for a 20-year-old for threats.
Quería mirar su reacción de cómo reaccionaba y
I was just joking and I just wanted to see how they reacted.
Potentially was saying he was going to do, but didn't do. And maybe he was going to do it, but he was stopped before doing it. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball.
Is going on. I mean, he reports on time, he's doing his drug tests on time, the field visits are going good. Like, they don't have any concerns at this point.
Yay.
listening to
I always get giddy when people are doing well because I want everyone to succeed. All right, we are here for sentencing. The defendant entered a plea of no contest to count 1 and count 2. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find him guilty. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 10 years in the prison. There's a $1,000 fine, and the state opposes the defendant's applications. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report? State?
Yes, Your Honor, I have.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report? State?
No, Your Honor.
Defense? All right, State, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor, first I do have states exhibits 1 and 2, which are just images that I'd like to provide. Defense has seen them.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, states exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted into evidence.
Your Honor. And at this time, the state would call Matt Porter.
All right, Matt Porter. Can you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Matthew Porter.
All right, state.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Porter, could you introduce yourself to the judge, who you are and what you do?
I'm a sergeant with the San Antonio Police Department, currently working the Fusion Center. I've been assigned there for 2 years and I've been on the department for 22 years.
And briefly, can you explain what the Fusion Center is and what your job is there?
It's
I'm sorry. All right, could you make sure you keep your voice up?
yes, ma'am.
All right.
So it's essentially a real-time watch center. We watch out for any threats of mass targeted violence, any threats to citizens. Once we're made aware of these threats, we begin to work them and support follow-up units.
What kind of training do you receive to do that?
So we go to various training. One of the trainings is through the FBI called Making Prevention a Reality. And it's a program dedicated to stopping threats of mass targeted violence.
And how did you come to be involved in that?
Just 1 second. So I always try to make people's job as easy as possible. So I can hear the interpreter interpreting. So once he answers the question, if you hear silence from the interpreter, it will make her job so much easier if you will then ask your next question, because otherwise it's
Yes.
quick for her. Okay.
Sorry. How did you come to be involved in Rodolfo Aceves?
This threat was
Okay. Listen to her. Yes. All right.
the threat was brought to our team and we began working with homicide on this case.
And why was it brought to you? Why was it a case that was flagged for you?
It was a threat of mass targeted violence. So there was people that reported it to police that were concerned for their well-being and the well-being of others.
And what did you look at when it was brought to you? What were there any flags or anything that made you research further?
So once we received the threat, we started looking into it. And there were behavioral indicators by the defendant that caused a lot of alarm. And as we began to dig deeper, we saw indicators that, hey, he is on the pathway to violence, and that it's more than like mere preparation. There was leakage to coworkers. There was a fixation on past mass targeted violence incidents such as Uvalde and Columbine. There was the purchase of firearms, the practicing on using these firearms. So when our team started looking at this, it was very concerning. There was an incident at his place of employment, where I believe a fire alarm went off, and he made a comment to a fellow coworker that this would be a good time to conduct a mass shooting.
Having seen these flags, what were your actions after that?
Well, initially, that statement alone is one thing, but when you put that together with everything else that we saw, it was certainly alarming from our standpoint and for public safety.
In your job, do you see or evaluate a lot of these situations?
Yes, ma'am.
And are there some that you see as mere statements and others that you see, as you mentioned earlier, statements plus
Yes,
actions?
we take each one seriously, and we look at the totality of the circumstances in each case that's brought to us. And in some cases, it's just a comment, and we're able to see that pretty early on. This particular case, that wasn't the circumstances that we found, and it was just very concerning.
Do you remain involved in the Rodolfo Aceves case?
Yes, we do.
And what does that entail?
Just follow-ups with family, making sure there's no other criminal activity that's been taking place with him that would bring concern to us and to public safety. You could also look at it as he's just trying to get through this time in his life to get past this charge.
You agree with me, do you not, that a piece of paper does not stop someone from killing people?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yes, sir.
And a piece of paper, we could refer to that as the bond paper.
Correct.
And if he really intended to go out and kill people, he would have already left and gone and do something like this, right? Just the fact that he would be granted deferred adjudication, hopefully, does that mean that he's going to go violate that?
I can't answer that.
Okay, no more questions.
All right, any other questions? All right, counsel, is there some documentation that you wanted from this witness that you have not received?
No, ma'am, I'm just wondering why he's here. I mean, he talks about how bad my client is, and yet when I ask him any question, he doesn't know anything about it.
All right, so there's no documentation that he has that you have not received
Not
that you would like?
Siempre ha sido normal, un buen hijo.
He's always been normal, a good son.
Nosotros, como papá y mamá, les hemos tratado de llevar a buen camino.
As a mom and dad, we have tried to guide them the right way, the right path.
Jamás habíamos tenido ningún problema de nada.
We had never had any kind of problem before.
Todo fue una sorpresa para nosotros. A él le gusta bromear mucho.
This was a surprise to us. He likes to joke a lot.
Does he suffer from depression?
Tuvo un tiempo con depresión y
He was depressed
Ansiedad.
he was depressed and anxious for a while.
So you're telling us that he suffers from anxiety also?
estuvo un tiempo con eso. Eso vino de ayudándome a trabajar. Absorbió cloro, óleo.
Yeah, that he had that for a while. He helped me at work and he smelled chlorine.
And that affected his life?
Un tiempo estuvo con ansiedad por ese motivo. Porque
For a while, he
creía
had
que le iba a hacer mal.
for a while he had anxiety due to that because he thought it was going to harm him.
Do you think that your son would be a good candidate to successfully complete a probationary period should the court give him deferred adjudication, which is another term for probation?
100%.
100%.
Now, to your knowledge, has he violated any conditions of his pretrial release?
No, nada. Y cuida mucho eso. Me preocupa mucho.
No, nothing at all. And he's very concerned about that.
And he has been restricted to full house arrest, has he not?
Sí.
Yes.
100%.
100%.
And are you asking Her Honor to grant your son deferred adjudication and that you would help him successfully complete the probationary period?
Sí, de mi corazón.
Yes, from the bottom of my heart.
I pass away, Your Honor.
Mr. Ostevez, hi, my name is Miranda. I'm one of the assistant district attorneys. I just have a few questions for you. Were you aware that your son had firearms in his room at your residence?
Sí, sabe.
Yes, I did know.
Do you know when he purchased those firearms?
Ah, cuando cumplió 18 que la podía comprar legalmente.
When he turned 18 and he could purchase them legally.
Was that close to the time that this incident happened?
No, fue mucho antes.
No, it was way before.
Or would you say way before that, be months or years?
No estoy muy seguro, no años.
I'm not too sure, but not years.
When this incident occurred, he was around 18 years old still, correct?
Como 19.
Like 19, I believe.
You mentioned that your son likes to joke a lot. What did you think about the statement that he made to his coworkers?
Que fue una broma.
That it was a joke.
Did you find it to be a joke?
No.
I have no more. You aware of what your son was being charged with here today?
Exactamente, no.
Not exactly.
So are you
No sé
aware?
qué gravedad.
I don't know how serious it is.
And are you familiar with what he's being accused of doing at his job at the Amazon warehouse?
Sí,
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
me preocupa, o sea, lo que fue una palabra que se entendió de otra forma.
I'm worried that it was a word that was understood in a different way.
Pero yo sé que en su corazón y en sus planes no está hacer daño a nadie.
But I know that in his heart and in his plans, it's not in him to harm anybody.
And do you know that he had firearms? That he owned firearms in his room in your home?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you know when he purchased those?
Pues fue poco después de cumplir 18 años.
It was a little after he turned 18.
Did he practice with those often?
Al principio fue 2 o 3 veces al lugar donde podía practicar.
At the beginning, he went 2 or 3 times to the place where he could practice.
I have no more questions, Ren.
No more questions, Your Honor.
All right. I just have a couple of questions,
Yes,
if
ma'am.
there's no
No
objection.
objections.
All right. Why did you allow your son to drop out of high school?
Yo permití que saliera de la escuela porque estaba planeando hacer el examen para tener su diploma más rápido.
I allowed him to drop out of school because he was planning to take the test to get his diploma quicker.
All right. Now, are you aware he never did that?
Sí, estaba, sí lo sé, estaba.
Yes, I know.
Él entró a trabajar y dijo que al mismo tiempo lo iba a estar haciendo, pero
He
pasó el problema.
He started working and he said he would be doing it at the same time, but then the problem happened.
All right. And do you have any weapons in your home now?
No.
No.
All right. Any other questions?
No.
No.
All right. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I can tell you both, this is a very difficult case for me because he's young. I see that there's some mental health issues, but I also have some concerns about the safety of the public. So what I would like, if it is possible, for the state or somebody. The witness in the police report, as always, we read the person that he said this to. Is it possible to have them available in person or by Zoom by the 21st?
I can look into that. Your Honor.
All right, will there be any objection if they can only get the witness by Zoom?
In fact, Your Honor, I was gonna call her last night because my understanding in speaking to my client is that she wants to come testify on his behalf. But I didn't want to call her because I didn't want it to be, even though I know I'm allowed to speak to witnesses, but there's also a protective order. And I didn't want it to look like I am calling her on behalf of him, and then he gets arrested for a violation of a protective order. So I thought she was gonna be here this morning,
All right,
but yes, ma'am.
so I'm going to recall this case for September 21st. September 14th. And before the court made its decision, I wanted to hear from a witness. And my understanding that witness is present, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, if someone would call the witness then.
The state will call Ana Flores.
All right.
You've introduced yourself to the judge. Can you tell her how you know Mr. Rodolfo Aceves?
Trabajamos juntos
We work together
Where did you work?
en Amazon,
in Amazon.
DX7. No, DX7. DX7.
DX7.
What did you do at Amazon?
Limpieza.
Meaning,
Is that what Mr. Aceves did as well?
yes,
How long did you work with Mr. Aceves there?
Como por unos de 4 a 6 meses.
between 4 to 6 months.
Did you spend each day with him?
Cuando nos tocaba trabajar juntos 8 horas.
When we had to work together 8 hours a day.
Who did you work under at Amazon? Was that someone related to Mr. Aceves?
¿Me repite la pregunta?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, who was your supervisor when you worked at Amazon?
El padre de Rodolfo.
Rodolfo's father.
So during these 4 to 6 months, did you get to know Rodolfo and his father fairly well?
Yes,
And did Rodolfo ever do anything or say anything to you that was concerning or upsetting to you during the times you worked together?
yes.
Can you tell the court an example of one of those times?
Como le gustaban las armas.
He liked weapons.
Cuando hicieron hicieron un simulacro, él dijo como, mira, es buena idea hacer por la matanza.
When they did like a drill or simulation, he said it's a good idea to do the shooting.
Or when you say a drill or a simulation, were you referring to a fire alarm?
Una falla.
Yes, fire alarm.
When he made that statement to you, how did you feel?
Primero lo tomé como tonto.
At first, I thought it was silly,
Comenté con otra compañera
and I talked to another coworker, and
no es normal.
it's not normal.
Was there a time when you dropped off your child at school and he was with you?
Yes.
Did he say anything concerning you that time?
Bromeó diciendo que ya ahora sé a dónde voy a venir.
He joked saying, now I know where I'm gonna come.
Did he say what he meant when he said that?
Pues dijo como, oh, ya sé dónde voy a hacer pues la matanza, y nada más le dije, cállate, no hables tonterías.
And he said, now I know where I'm gonna do the shooting, and I told him, shut up, don't say stupid stuff.
Did he ever say or do anything else like that? That worried you?
No, hizo, sí.
No, he didn't do anything like that.
Do you remember what day of the week it was that the fire alarm occurred?
Un viernes.
A Friday.
Did you work that weekend?
Al fin de semana, no sé.
Not on the weekend.
During that weekend, what was your thought process after hearing what he said?
Más. Era tonto lo que había dicho.
That it was stupid what he had said.
Cuando llegué el lunes al trabajo,
When I arrived to work on Monday,
comenté con mi compañera
I talked to a coworker.
y me dijo, eso es algo muy peligroso y lo tienes que reportar.
She said that is something very dangerous and you have to report it.
Did you report it at that time?
Después vino el supervisor de Amazon que necesitaba hablar conmigo.
Afterwards, the Amazon supervisor came to me saying he needed to talk to me.
Was that supervisor different than Mr. Acevez's father?
Yes,
Did you have any concerns about reporting it, knowing that Mr. Acevez's father supervised you?
no,
Now moving forward, do you have any ongoing concerns for yourself or your family after this is resolved?
Sí.
yes.
Can you elaborate on that?
Como que él piense que por mi culpa él está aquí.
I'm afraid he might think that it's my fault that he's here.
No lo hice con una intención mala.
I didn't do it with a bad intention.
Me puso en una situación difícil
He put me in a difficult position
porque yo a él lo estimo y no quiero que le pase nada malo.
because I care for him and I don't want anything bad to happen to him,
Ni a él ni a mí.
not to him nor me.
Press the witness, Your Honor.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Hi, Ms. Flores. I just introduced myself to you in person, but we've spoken on the phone in the last few days, have we not?
Sí.
And I think we've
Yes.
spoken on the phone 2 or 3 times. And-
Yes.
And each of the times that we spoke, we talked about the same thing. If you felt that this was serious or if he was just joking with you, and I kind of remember, or unless I misinterpreted, that you didn't report it because he was the type of person that would joke all the time, correct? Something to that effect?
Sí bromeábamos,
We did joke,
pero cuando él hacía esos comentarios siempre comenté a él, eso no es normal.
but when
No,
he
it's
made
not
that
that.
kind of comment, I always said that is not normal.
And I,
Siempre le llamé la atención como una mamá o una.
I always called it to his attention like a mom.
Y yo no sé los pensamientos de cada quien.
I don't know anybody's thoughts.
and I believe we talked about that topic on one of the conversations that we had, did we not? And I remember asking you if you felt if he was more of a, if you had taken it as a joke or something like that, and you said you weren't really sure. And I'm just trying to be, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you weren't really sure if you were taking it seriously or not, if you would, yes.
No sé,
Yes.
cómo lo estoy tomando ahí.
I don't know how he's taking it.
Okay. Now, he has been on bond for 16 months. In about 4 days, it'll be 16 months. And he was ordered by the court to stay at home and not leave the house for anything. And you mentioned a little bit about concern for you and your family. He has not contacted you, has he?
No, él
Has
No.
anyone else contacted you about him other than me?
He hablado con su padre.
I have talked to his father.
Okay, and how did that come about?
Porque usted me habló y yo hablé con marqué a Rodolfo y le dije, me están contactando sobre tu
Y-
caso.
Because you called me and I called Rodolfo to tell him I'm being contacted about your case.
Y él dijo, pues haz lo que tengas que hacer y que sea lo que Dios quiera.
And he said, do what you have to do, and God knows what happens.
Y él de su parte me dijo, no estoy molesto contigo.
And he told me that he was not upset with me.
So other than your personal fear that Mr. Aceves Jr. could be upset with you, there's no indication or nothing that has happened to you to put you in any kind of fear other than you being worried that he may seek any kind of retaliation, correct?
Me han ocurrido cosas, pero yo
Things
no,
have happened to me,
yo no estoy segura que quién es.
but I'm not sure who it
Okay.
is.
But he's never contacted you and
No,
No.
his father's not angry at you.
no.
Okay,
No,
and
no.
and in fact, it sounds to me like his father and the family, because I've gotten to know the family, that they're religious. And do you believe that his parents raised him in the proper way?
I don't know.
Okay. And the last question I have for you, I believe would be the last question is, when I asked you what you thought about possibly him going to the penitentiary, and correct me if I'm wrong, I recall you telling me that you did not want him to go to the penitentiary. Am I correct?
Correcto, yo creo que es muy joven
Correct. I think he's too young.
y a veces se nos hace fácil hablar
And sometimes we think it's easy to just talk.
y sí, él tiene una oportunidad. Yo estoy correcta, yo
And,
estoy de acuerdo.
and if he gets an opportunity, I would agree with that.
Okay, no more questions, Your Honor.
All right, any further questions?
No further questions.
All right, I just have one question. So you mentioned under questioning that some things had happened to you. Do you believe that Mr. Aceves is responsible in any way?
No sé.
I don't know.
All right, thank you so much for coming down. All right, is there anything else from either side?
Just argument, Your Honor.
My client would like to address the court with your
Yes.
permission, Your Honor.
Yes. All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm not gonna ask you any questions. I want you to speak to her on it. Tell her what you feel. We've discussed this. I didn't tell you what to say. Have I told you what to say? I've just told you to
No.
speak from your heart. Tell her what you feel, what you want her to know about you, please.
Mi jurado, en verdad, yo pedí disculpas por todo lo que dije y especialmente a los familiares de ella.
Your Honor, I really want to apologize for everything I said,
Especialmente a Ana Flores y sus familias. No quiera ponerse en terror y miedo.
especially Ana Flores and her family. I never meant to terrorize them or put them in fears.
yo solamente me estaba simplemente moviendo y solamente estaba quería mirar su reacción de cómo reaccionaba y
I was just joking and I just wanted to see how they reacted.
nunca quería cometer ni un masacre ni nada de eso.
I never wanted to commit a massacre or anything like that.
Fue muy estúpido
I was very
diciendo
stupid
eso y
by saying
me siento
that,
muy arrepentido por todo.
and I really regret everything.
Do you realize now that you said too much that can hurt you in your future?
Too
Sí,
much.
dije demasiado. No estaba pensando las consecuencias que podía ocurrir y
Yes, I said too much and I wasn't thinking about the consequences it could have.
Ya, sí comprendo las consecuencias que voy a la cárcel y nunca ver a mi familia más.
Now I understand the consequences that I could go to jail and never see my family again.
Now, you've been on probation for 16 months. And-
Counsel, not on
I mean,
probation.
I'm sorry, on house arrest for 16 months. Full house arrest. Have you ever had any violations during the 16 months?
No he tenido nada, hasta era bien precavido que no cometiera ni un error para que pensaban que yo iba a hacer algo.
No, I have not committed any violations. I have been very cautious, so you wouldn't think that I have done something.
And because of that, you've lost your credit rating. You've lost your vehicle, I believe. And correct me if I'm wrong in this thing. Obviously, you've lost your job. You haven't been able to go out to look for a job. And all this is correct.
Sí, es correcto.
Yes, that's correct.
And because of this, you've seen how something so stupid as saying something like that can affect you for the rest of your life.
Sí me puede afectar. Debo como casi $10,000 en total.
Yes, it can affect me. I owe at like $10,000 in total.
En 200,000 en la tarjeta de crédito
2,000 on the credit card,
y 5,000 en el vehículo
5,000 on the vehicle.
y como en el tiempo eran como $3,600 por el GPS.
And at the time, it was like $3,300 for the GPS.
Can you promise the court, Her Honor, that she will never see you here again should she give you deferred adjudication?
No puedo nunca cometer ni un crimen ni ser un ciudadano honorado.
And I promise I will never commit a crime and I will be an honorable citizen.
I'll pass it with you, Your Honor.
Any further questions?
Briefly, Your Honor. Mr. Aceves, how many firearms did you own prior to this incident happening?
Son te da uno.
It was only one.
So if the police had found both an AR and a shotgun in your room, did not both of those belong to you?
No era una shotgun, era un air rifle.
It wasn't a shotgun. It was
No,
an air
air
rifle.
rifle, sorry. Air. It's the pebble gun or something like that. A pebble rifle.
Pellet.
Pellet, yes.
It was a pellet gun or something like that.
No, it's shotgun.
When was that AR purchased?
En el mes de febrero.
Your Honor, interpreter in the petition.
All right, if you'll repeat, please.
En el mes de febrero.
MS.
Oh, sorry.
February, in the month of February.
Was that the same year that this incident occurred?
Sí, pero nunca fue intención de comprarla para planear una masacre y nada de eso.
But it was never my intention to purchase it to plan a massacre or
Tenía
anything.
19 años y quería comprarme una pistola porque cosa más me gustan mucho como mirar TV shows de
I was 19 and I wanted to buy a gun because I love watching TV shows about
como de zombies como The Walking Dead.
like zombies,
The
like
Last
The
of
Walking
Us y
Dead
eso.
and that.
Y ahí son uno que puede imaginar como que debes que estar preparado por cualquier situación,
And you can imagine that you have to be prepared for any situation.
aunque no puede definitivamente no ocurre porque es ficción.
But
Pero-
of course not because it's fiction.
Pero no podía comprarme una pistola porque era menor de edad, debía que tener 21 años.
But I couldn't purchase a gun because I was a minor. I had to be 21.
Así que compré un rifle.
So so I bought a rifle.
No further questions.
All right, so are you saying you couldn't purchase a gun at 21, but you could purchase a rifle?
así es lo legalmente que puedes.
Oh, no.
Yes, that's why you can say that's legally. what
Yeah,
you
no,
can
no,
do.
I know the law. I'm just, that was sort of a rhetorical question,
Oh, lo siento.
I'm sorry.
you know. So are you currently 21?
No,
Still 20?
No,
yes. Sí, no, sí, mi jurado.
yes, you're
All
right.
right. So a lot of people will say sometimes, oh, I've said before, you know how you say, I could just kill that person? And honestly, I don't know anybody who's ever said that about somebody else. So what were you thinking and why would you think this would be a joke?
No, no quería como hacerle que sí le voy a comentar hacer,
I didn't want to make that comment. It was
son te diciendo para una reacción así.
It was just to say it for a reaction.
Okay. All right. So I will listen to your arguments, but this is what I want to tell both of you when you give me your argument. So my job as a judge is not like the Minority Report with Tom Cruise. I can't see into the future. I don't know what's going to happen. I know, State, you're asking for 10 years prison for a 20-year-old for threats. And I've seen cases where people have made threats against a single person and people offer them deferred or people offer them probation. And I know that's not you, but I've seen that happen. In this case, State, you're going to be asking me to send a 20-year-old to prison for something that I'm assuming you're doing it because you think, one, that he could end up committing this. But what I see is a 20-year-old, and if I send him to prison, and let's say I send him to prison for 5 years or 10 years, and he does all his time at the prison. So let's say he goes in at the age of 20, he's there for 10 years, he gets out when he's 30, they offer him parole, he says, no, I don't want parole. And so he gets out of prison at 30 years old, and he has no supervision, and he can do whatever he wants to do. Then we're right back here. I personally don't think that solves the problem that we have before me. And I will tell both of you, I've read all the stipulations, I've read everything. And based upon what I'm reading and the fact that he has no criminal history, 10 years is too much time for what he's charged with and for what he potentially was saying he was going to do, but didn't do. And maybe he was going to do it, but he was stopped before doing it. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. What I am thinking of doing is granting his application, keeping him on deferred for 10 years. He will go into custody today because you're going to go to state ISF cognitive, if that's available. If it's not available, we're going to see about some type of, I don't know, mental conditioning or something. I would order that he not to have any possession of weapons. He would still remain on GPS. GPS would be full house arrest, then slowly, maybe he can get a job, then slowly lower down the conditions on that. I would have where he's not to appear or not to reside within a certain place of schools, that he would not be allowed to work or go to Amazon. That's what I'm thinking. And if there's a reason why I should not be thinking that, or someone has something potentially to change my mind about that, I'm more than welcome to hear the argument. But either way, he would be going into custody today.
Your Honor, you're much brighter than I am.
Oh, no.
And I appreciate and I respect your decision, and I think that's a good thing for him. I don't think he needs it, but if the court needs it, then I'm okay with it. I've gotten to know this young man over the last 16 months. And I'm gonna get emotional because I've gotten to like him because he really is, thank you. He really is a good young man. He really said something stupid. And it's not too often in my 35 years of being a lawyer that I get emotionally involved in a case. They tell you not to. But when you really believe in someone, when you really believe that they were acting stupid, for this to happen to them, it's like, what did you do to your life, son? And that's how I feel about him. I would have liked to have seen him just walk out with me. I know in my heart that you will never see him again, but I respect your decision and I'm okay with it.
All right. Well, the court's concern is obviously for somebody to even jokingly say this, there's something mental going on. And I don't, if I had a program that was a free program that was available where he goes into a mental facility and they work, they educate, I would send him there, but I don't have that. If somebody has that and they have where it's private or it's free or somebody's willing to pay for it for him, I would reconsider doing that instead of ISF. But I think right now, because part of my job is also to protect the public. And if I had a crystal ball, it would be great because I could say, this is what he's going to do in 3 years. Or if I had a crystal ball and I would say, send a 20-year-old to prison. And we all know prison life, even Bexar County jail life is not the best life. He's young, he's thin. We already know what's going to happen at prison, potentially, because everybody can't watch people 24/7.
Right.
And I am wondering, sending him to prison for 10 years, what is that going to do to his psyche? And how is he going to come back out of prison into society? And are we going to have an even bigger problem? So I'm trying to put some safeguards in place and then state if he violates GPS in any way that I'm going to give him, if he doesn't report the way he's supposed to, then the full 10 years is there. I will put in place that there, wherever he lives, if he's living with his parents, there are to be no weapons in the home. And I'm going to put in place sort of similar to sex offender registration, even though this is not a sex case, that he has to give probation, all the computer access, phone access, any electronic access, so that they can be aware of what he's looking at and what is happening. I just think in this case, 10 years prison for a 20-year-old, and I realize what could have happened, what may have happened. So that's where I am. And the reason, and I struggle with this case, and I thought about this case from when you all were first here till now about what potentially would be the right decision in this case. And it's a very difficult case. And I know it's a difficult case for the state. And state, I do know why you're asking for the 10 years, because something catastrophic could have happened. So I do understand.
And I respect her for that. And just one more thing, if I may. It's been comforting for me to know that he's been on full house arrest for 16 months. 4 days would be 16 months. He didn't even walk out the front door. And I think that goes to show you that I feel that he's going to be successful in this program. We appreciate what you're doing for him. I just have one question. How long is this going to take? I don't understand. I don't know. Unless
Probation will be able to let you know how long it will take for him to get transferred to state ISF. But again, if you and the state want to confer and there is some sort of inpatient cognitive treatment for him that is not at the state jail or not at the prison, you can let the court know. The court will consider that. But my thing is, he needs to be worked on internally with the mental that's going on. And I see there are some mental health issues, but DDRF and Mick, they say he's not eligible.
Right. I understand your decision, Your Honor, and I do respect that, and I do agree that some sort of inpatient time, if we're not going to send him straight to prison, is appropriate. I'm thinking back to what Mr. Porter had testified last week, that it remains to be seen whether this is someone who's done well on bond because
Yes.
they fixed the problem, or if they're doing well on bond because, as Mr. Osbus had testified, I've been cautious, so you won't think I've done something. So I think that we do need as many safeguards as possible if we aren't doing prison, and short of that, to ensure that.
Well, my thing is, we're going to do things incrementally. And we will have settings for this to come back to court. Once he's released from inpatient, we can have settings to come back every 60 days, and we can discuss where we are, how he's doing, and do it that way.
One more thing, I keep saying one more thing.
Yes.
I love coming to this court, Your Honor, because you not only think of the public, but you also think of the welfare of the people that are before you. And that's just something that you've earned the respect of all of us in Bexar County and anybody else that may know you, that you're just a wonderful lady.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to give these conditions and state if there are any other conditions you think would be helpful, just let me know. So we're going to do 10 years deferred adjudication. There is to be state ISF cognitive, and he's to be taken into custody today for that. Once he's released from state IS cognitive, we will set this, Vashawn, once he's released from state ISF, before he's released from the Bexar County Jail, let's have him brought over. Is that possible? Okay, well, let's do this. Once he's released from state ISF, we'll just set it for a hearing in here, and we'll call it a compliance hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
So once he's released, we'll do a compliance hearing to maybe fine tune any conditions that we need to fine tune. So I'm going to say full GPS. We'll waive fees
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I was gonna ask.
or defer fees. And then Mr. Aceves, once you've completed the state ISF, or if there's a inpatient treatment through private means, once you completed that, we're going to come back and then we can address the full GPS. But my understanding from working in different treatment courts, you can't go from rigid to all of a sudden you're free. It's sort of like when you have children and you have them on this rigid schedule, then maybe you send them off to college and no supervision. So we'll do full GPS. There's to be no weapons possessed. And there's to be no weapons wherever you're living. So if you're living with your parents, there's to be no weapons in the residence. You understand? And to the Mr. Cisneros, if you could let his parents know if there are weapons in the home, he cannot stay there.
Yes, ma'am. And Your Honor, he was saying that he owes like $3,000 or something in the GPS fees. Is there a way we can waive those?
We'll deal with that when we come back.
Okay, thank you.
All right, there is to be all electronic, I'll say just items. So that means computers, cell phones, sort of like if he were on sex offender registration. He's to make sure that you all have all the information to look into those computers. So you're going to have to register all electronic items, and that's going to include the items that your parents have in the home. So if they have cell phones, iPhones, all of that has to be registered. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And all computers in the home must be registered. There's to be no contact with Ana Flores or any workers from his Amazon location, because I know people will order off Amazon. So none of the workers from his Amazon location. There's going to be regular reporting. That can be by Zoom or in person. I'm going to want random field visits, one time per month, until further notice. And Bashan, if you'll let probation know when we have the compliance hearing, if that's going well, we can reconsider. There's to be regular UAs. And we will deal with proof of employment. Bashan, I'm not even going to put employment in right now because there's no way for him to get the employment. We'll put that in once we have our compliance hearings. Bashan, is there anything else he needs? Mr. Aceves, I keep mispronouncing your name. I'm sorry. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Voy a ver todas las condiciones.
No, I will obey all the conditions.
All right, State, do you think there's anything else he needs at this time?
No, Your Honor, but Miss Ana Flores did mention to me this morning that she would like the no contact order to extend to her family.
Yes.
Based on the concerns that she mentioned earlier.
All right, and there's to be no contact with Ana Flores's family.
And for the record, Your Honor, I'd like to tell Mr. Aceves something. And that includes your family, your mom, your dad, any family members or friends, okay? They cannot contact her at all. Okay?
All right. And then I'll put in here, there's to be no contact with elementary, preschool, junior high, high school. I think they now call it middle school. If he decides that he wants to maybe get his GED or get a college degree, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But for now, there's to be no contact with any schools. All right. Is there anything else from either side?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
No, ma'am, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes.
Sí, mi jurado.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Sí, mi jurado.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So from here on out, everything that you do, you're looking at potentially going to prison for 10 years. Do you understand?
Sí, mi jurado.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I hope that you're going to be thinking about what brought you here. Okay? And it is never funny or a joke to ever talk about harming anyone. You understand? That's not funny.
Sí, sí, mi jurado, en verdad, antes no lo pensaba así. No, sí se lo tomaba de una broma, pero cuando estuve 16 meses, sí.
Yes, Your Honor. Before I did think it was a joke, but since I've been for 16 months, I've been
Pensando en las vidas humanas y
thinking about human life,
perdona,
and I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Humberto Chavez. Yes. Yes, you may. Thank you so much. Oh, you. Hey, it's always good seeing you.
Good seeing you, Your Honor.
Hello. Thanks for dressing appropriately for court, but you always do. So how's life treating you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thankfully, I have been keeping a job, being occupied, same with my family, that someone's going to me.
Okay, awesome. Well, is there anything you need from the court?
Can I tell him something to my attorney?
Sure.
En el futuro. Yeah, yes. He's wondering if it's possible that he could get permission from the court to go to Mexico at one point or another in the future.
Oh, to go where?
Mexico to visit family and stuff.
Oh, I'm sure that'll be fine if everything is working well with him. I don't think probation or the state will have any objections to that. So just let the court know.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So probation, how's everything going?
Judge, based on the report that was received from him, his CSO, he's been doing very, very well. They cannot have any concerns nothing is going on. I mean, he reports on time, he's doing his drug tests on time, the field visits are going good. Like, they don't have any concerns at this point.
Yay.
He's listening to his lawyer
Okay, that is so awesome.
and to the court,
Yeah.
especially to the court.
So when does he think he wants to go to Mexico?
Your Honor, I think by the end of this year or January on the next year.
Okay. All right. If something changes, just let the court know and we can come in.
Mhm.
All right. So. What do you, yes.
Judge, I do believe Mr. Sevens is currently on, field visits once a month.
Mhm.
I would ask at this point, we can see about dwindling those field visits once every 60 days or 90 days.
Okay, so we'll start with field visits once every 60 days. And then what I'll do is I'll bring us back here to see how you're doing. And then if he's still doing well, we can put it at 90 days. Then we'll bring it back and then it'll be at probation's discretion.
Yes, Judge.
So we're just doing things step by step so people don't get overwhelmed, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so do you all want to come back at the end of August?
Yes, ma'am, that would be good.
All right, so we can do August 26th.
That would be fine. Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so we'll be back on August 26th. Do you need a reset form?
I believe so, just because
Okay.
it's in August, please.
Okay.
I'm very proud of him, Your Honor. He's doing
Yes, I
everything
am
right.
too. He's doing excellent. I always get giddy when people are doing well because I want everyone to succeed.
I believed in him from day one. I just.
I know you did.
Something about him that I just, after many years of working in this business, you can tell who's good.
Yes. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
May he be excused.
Oh, once he signs the
Let me give you
reset
this.
form?
Yes.